Call the public hearing to order. And it's on the adoption of the solar ordinance. We need to read that, Mr. Barton.
If I might, I'll just kind of give a summary of what we're here for and what we're doing. So, thank you for allowing me to speak. So, of course, Dickinson County currently does not have a solar ordinance in place at this time. And this ordinance that Mr. Sturgill drafted for us, it outlines how a solar project would be taxed and allows the maximum revenue per megawatt as allowed by Virginia code. And of course, any solar project that's being considered in the county, must first prepare a siting agreement that would outline how the revenue structure would work and how the whole project would work, including, deployment, decommissioning, things like that. And of course, that would have to be approved by the board on a per project basis. But, the board had requested previously, I think under Mr. Hall's advice, that we consider doing an ordinance like this. So that's what we're bringing back to you. Will, do you have anything to?
No, the ordinance itself follows the wording of Virginia code that allows the maximum allowed by law for compensation. And like Larry said, there would have to be a siting agreement that would come before you all and negotiated if it met the terms required for a large project to be able to do that.
We're open for public comment. If anyone would like to make a comment on this ordinance.
Do we have any, Larry, that are considering putting solar panels on their
We do.
land?
We have a couple of potential projects that are in the works in the county right now. So,
What I thought. Were they aware of this?
no, been in discussions with them. I mean, the siting agreement that's being proposed right now is in compliance with this. We're still working with them, Mr. Sturgill and I are. So,
Do they have to get I don't guess, do they have to get a building permit or anything?
they would have to.
They would have to,
There's
yeah.
several permits that they would have to have. So,
I don't guess anybody'd have to, if they wanted to put those panels on the roof of their house, they wouldn't
they
bother.
would not. They still have to get a building permit, but this ordinance actually, what's the minimum on it, Will?
Can't remember off top, but it's basically larger
It's
commercial
larger. It's
type.
not going to get them. There's a minimum that exempts them.
Correct.
That's what I was gonna ask, if it had anything to do with more commercial people coming in to set up a farm or something
It
like
is.
that, as opposed to.
It wouldn't be anything with the residential solar.
I didn't think it would affect the individual that much. so.
It would not. It would not impact them at all. So
It's a certain megawatt.
it is. That's what I'm trying to look at here and see.
I can't remember as much as I've looked at it.
Because this chapter shall apply to all solar systems except 20 megawatts or less as measured in alternating current generation capacity for which an initial interconnection request form has been filed with an electric utility or a regional transmission organization on or before December 31st, 2018, or 5 megawatts or less as measured in alternating current generation capacity. So, to exempt all the home and
I was gonna say, up where I'm from, a lot of farmland up north, they're doing these.
very large.
My uncle's been approached, and they're good for a certain number of years, and then they're responsible for disposing of it when it goes hazardous waste involved.
Yeah, that's why the decommissioning is a big part of the siting agreement, as far as to make sure all that's covered up front, so you know what happens at the end of their useful life and how that's handled. So,
Wonder what the lifespan of those panels are. You have any idea?
it's increased somewhat from when, initial discussions, early on that I was a part of, but I don't know, 20, 25 years, I think.
That's
somewhere in that
generally
area.
what it is.
20 to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with this, and I'll add too, Mr. Chair, for clarification, of course, with this revenue share in our solar ordinance, it would be a waiver of the machinery and tool tax in lieu of the machinery and tool tax is what this is, so.
Well, it's a waiver not for commercial,
Correct.
Correct.
It'd be
but
like your-
for somebody's house.
Right,
Which
they would
there's
be
a couple
exempt.
of 2 or 3 houses in the county, I think, that has them on the roof.
There's several in the county that have.
Well, I
them
don't know,
like
I
that.
know Carolyn Cummins has one on her house in Clintwood there. I don't know anywhere else. Who? Kendall Mills does?
There's several in the county. Of course, they have to get a building permit for those. Mr. Rakes has went out and inspected those, and so we have several.
Thought about putting them on my house, but I don't think they're very,
Hadn't they also talked about, doing solar at Ridgeview?
They have. That's been a discussion back even when I was at the school on that. I don't know what the current status is on that,
I
but
know it's up in the air, because I know Watts County hasn't done it yet. They've not fully gone into that program. When Brett Williams was superintendent, they talked about it, they haven't
Right.
done it yet.
I think Lee County did.
Lee County did do it.
I think Ridgeview, the roof structure wasn't suitable.
Yeah, that's what I was suspecting. It wasn't good enough up there, couldn't
Shoot,
sustain it, but now, you know, we just went to Indiana probably about a month or so ago for farmland up in there that people aren't doing anything on anymore. They're filling farmland up with those solar farms is what they're doing. And then you still got people raising crops, but it's a sight to see when you come up on it.
main problem be to get rid of them, as Ron said. I mean, how you gonna you gotta recycle them properly or whatever. I would think.
It's one of the reasons why that siding agreement's so
so
important,
important.
is to make sure that they're properly, dealt
Supposed
with.
to,
and that-
It's not just thrown over the
time.
hills.
Anyone else have a comment on this? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn this public hearing. Since we don't have anyone for public comment.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn this public hearing on the solar ordinance.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the, public hearing for the adoption of the solar ordinance. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well, the motion carries. In about 2 minutes, we'll start the next.
No,
public
we're
hearing.
actually, it's time right now, 5:51, so.
Okay. Mine's still showing 5:48. And we'll go ahead and call the, second public hearing. No order of adoption of the ordinance for the veterans exemption. And we'll open that up for public comment as well.
Chair, if I could give an update on this exemption as well. The current ordinance that we have on the county books right now was passed back in 1999. That allowed a $100 credit towards a vehicle owned by a 100% disabled veteran. Mr. Mullins, the commissioner, brought to our attention that there's an incorrect code reference cited in that current ordinance. Also the code, when you read the code, as far as that code section is given under, it doesn't really allow a discount. It's a little different as far as classifying as a separate class of property with a different tax rate. But, you know, back in 2021, I think it was 58.13668 was passed by the General Assembly, which allows a full exemption of one vehicle owned by a 100% disabled veteran. And the updated ordinance that's before you here that we're taking public comment on makes the needed corrections and allows for the one vehicle to be fully exempt from personal property tax if the veteran is 100% disabled. So, is
Thank you.
that correct, Mr. Sturgill? Anything
But-
else?
That's correct. And the language of this ordinance is very closely aligned with the language that's in 58.13668. Also, the language that's in the Constitution of Virginia when that was passed from 2021. So we're just requesting that this be considered for adoption to align with the Code of Virginia currently as it reads. We've also made an application that's consistent with this ordinance as well for the commissioner.
All right, the floor is open for public comment on this ordinance. If anyone would like to make a comment.
More fun on that side of the table, Ron.
I've been here before. Ron Peters, 383 Maple Drive, Clinchco, Virginia. I wanted to ask a question. Is there no way that you can keep this by doing it a different way?
Technically speaking, the way this is read, it's word for word for the code that takes place of what we currently have.
Because the reason I'm asking is this is something that this county chose to give to the disabled veterans. What the state does is what the state does. I mean, I would say, you know, they gave us back an extra $100 in income tax last year. Are you guys gonna come out with a policy that we gotta pay it back to you now? You know, so you trying to refer back to what the state does. And I'd suggest to you, there are many, many disabled veterans, not many, there are other disabled veterans that don't qualify for the state program. But yet they're hurting, and wouldn't it be nice to help them and honor what they've done for our country? You know, I agree we get the state benefit for those that are 100%, but why not try to help some of our other folks that are? Because this goes on when they go through the VA, it goes percentages, what their disability is.
Larry, didn't our ordinance already follow the state code, correct?
Will, as far as the ordinance,
But
our
the
current
ordinance was wrong on, the code was,
the code was
wrong
wrong,
on
but
the-
the ordinance doesn't allow a $100 discount. It doesn't allow you to just, like you give a $100 discount or say that you're giving X amount of dollars discount. That ain't what that code section reads as.
I understand, but was it because the code changed over time, or is it?
Correct. The
Yeah,
code-
so something changed.
Correct.
Is
Code-
there,
The code changed in 2021,
Yeah.
dealing with this, that specified the exemptions when that was voted in.
you know, I have to be an advocate for the veterans. I'm a VFW member.
Well, so's my
And I
husband
think it's a
bit.
good thing for the people.
So
And the
Shelby's
VFW, you know, American Legion, DAV, they're there to help the folks, our veterans that came out. And all I'm saying is maybe there's another way that you can offer something, keep this in a way that you're adding to it to help those veterans that don't qualify for this. Because there are people out there I know
Yeah, but the code doesn't
that are hurting,
what we were doing.
that could,
you
that are
know,
our
I
veterans.
worked in the commissioner's office in 221, and it was at that time 100% disability. And we only gave it to the ones that was 100% disability, and they had to bring their thing in to prove it, you know,
Not arguing that, but I'm suggesting that this is an opportunity for you to reach and help more disabled veterans that are in our county.
That's the problem I have, is this exemption, if you're 100% disabled veterans, you will get your one vehicle
Correct.
up to
exempted,
$200.
No,
No.
complete
Completely
exemption for one
exempted.
vehicle.
exempted as of, so that's what we're going to be doing. That
Right.
does sort of
Well-
leave out veterans that, because it's pretty, they're not a whole lot that's 100%.
No, there is.
Well,
100%.
our ordinance has always been 100%.
It
and
has.
That's what.
It has.
Correct.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
always been
not a
100%.
great
There's-
deal of people in this county that are 100%
There's a lot.
connected to get disability from the veterans. I know a few, but they're deceased.
And then they get their home and 1 acre exempt also.
But they have to be, what, is it 100% or is it still
100%.
60?
Mr. Mello, is there a
100%
clarification you have on this?
You have to be 100%, you have to be 100%, or if you are 90% and unemployable, you qualify as 100%.
Okay, because it used to be 60%, but on that, but all I'm saying is this is an opportunity for you guys to help
Just-
those that don't,
That don't qualify for
Yes.
this type of veteran, which a lot of our World War II veterans are leaving us. But we do
Well,
have quite a few Vietnam and
A lot of them are
Korean.
leaving us, and that's
Pardon
what a lot of them are leaving us. I
Yeah.
mean, I can tell you the VFW closed.
Yeah,
You know who the youngest member was?
you,
And all, the rest of them were 10 years to my senior.
I
They
guess
were
that's
Vietnam
something
vets.
we could take up later about giving veterans, we can't do it not tonight, but we might could take up
If the
something
board would
later.
choose,
about
Mr.
giving
Sturgill
them.
can look at it, but the code does not
Yeah.
allow what we were doing before.
Yeah,
It
you
does not
probably
allow
aren't gonna be able to do it
$100
under the code, but you can come up possibly with something that you can quantify and put it to, because it surely would help our veterans.
Correct. The intent
And-
of this is to closely align with what the code allows, which our ordinance before did not have that clarified language in there. But yes, we can continue to look at that and see what else we can do for
Yeah,
our
we could,
veterans.
I think it's.
You know, the
Absolutely.
DAV's closed down recently, the VFW is gone. And see, another thing I'll tell you is if you do it, find a way, make sure we're doing like we're doing with the state program and we're sending a letter to the veterans and letting them know about it. I did my job to brief my members, but even them, some of them are very senior, they're in their late 70s, and they forget about it. You know, and now that there's not a formal VFW post and I heard the DAV Chapter 35 closed down recently, that tool of getting the word out isn't there anymore.
I certainly would,
Let's look into that and see
We'll
what
look into that and report back to the board, so.
we can do. 'Cause I'd like to do anything we could to
still
help our
got-
veterans, because they've sure stood up for
Rocky
us. We need to stand up for them.
Yeah,
people
And that's all I'm
off to
saying.
go forward.
Thank you, Mr. Beaver. Appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? All right, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the veterans ordinance.
Motion,
I'll second it.
motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, all in favor. Next, we got the adoption of the solid waste ordinance. We'll go ahead and call that to order with public comment available.
Sorry,
Which-
since it-
Mr. Chair, if I could give an update on this one. Recently, the Commissioner of Revenue brought to our attention that our current solid waste and litter ordinance puts the responsibility on his office to handle the application for annual hauler permits. We only issue a few of these permits a year is all that we do, but with this ordinance, the only change we have in our ordinance is on page 8. It's changing Commissioner of Revenue is removed and replaced with Dickinson County Administrator's Office. That application would come through my office for those permits, and most years we're doing 8 permits usually, so. That's the only
That's
change.
pretty straightforward then, isn't it?
It is.
We'll open the floor for public comment on that. I don't anticipate there'll be any. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Someone wants to make that motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the public hearing on the solid waste ordinance.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor to adjourn signify by saying aye. Aye as well. Any opposed? Okay, that meeting is adjourned. And we're moving right along to the regular meeting. We'll call it to order and begin with public, with the silent prayer, which we do out loud. Mr. Martin?
Sure be glad to. Let us pray. Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you once again this evening, Lord, just asking your blessing upon this meeting, Lord, and your blessing upon the county. Lord, I pray that you give our supervisors wisdom as they're making decisions that impact our county and our residents, Lord. Lord, be with all those that are sick, those that are afflicted, and those that are hurting tonight, Lord. Lord, I just pray that you'd bless our county, Lord, bless our families within the county, Lord, and I just pray, Lord, that you would be with us through this meeting and give us guidance. All these things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Man.
We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Peters, would you care to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Next, we got the approval of the minutes. Of the,
If there's no questions about the minutes, we've had a chance to read them, I make a motion that we approve them.
we have a motion to approve the minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Up to the, this that was approval of the regular meeting from November 18th. Next, we got the approval of the agenda.
No additions?
No
No
addition.
addition.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented tonight.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Got the approval of the agenda. Is there anything needs to be pulled out of that?
No, sir. Everything should be able to be passed with one vote if the board so desires, so.
Someone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda from A through H?
Does the sheriff want to do his one?
He's not going to do his report tonight.
Oh,
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda A through H.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda A through H. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? All right. Ayes have it. That'll take us down to public comment. If you'd like to make a public comment, step up to the podium. Mr. Sturgill will give us our public comment guidelines.
Sure. There shall be a time limit for each individual speaker of 3 minutes. A representative of a group may have up to 5 minutes. Speakers are not permitted to donate time to other speakers. No speaker's time shall be extended except by unanimous consent or a 2/3 vote of the board members present. Prohibited conduct. Persons appearing before the board will not be allowed to campaign for public office, promote private business ventures, use profanity, use language which insults or demeans any person, and/or when directed at public officials or employees when not related to their official duties. However, citizens have the right to comment on the performance, conduct, and qualifications of public figures, make frivolous statements, interrupt other speakers, engage in behavior that intimidates others, or address the board on issues that do not concern the services, policies, or affairs of the county.
If you'd like to call in to make a public comment, that number is 276-333-0357. Again, it's 276-333-0357.
Bruce. Y'all been in that rehab pretty good? Good.
They're just. You got home Friday.
Okay, no one's called in, no one stepped up to the podium. Someone like to make a motion to adjourn the public comment?
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and close it if nobody wants to step up and speak to us tonight.
And I'll second that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think we're all asleep this
I
evening.
was,
Everybody's taking a nap on.
had visions of,
All right, we have a motion and a second to close public comment. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye as well. Any discussion? Any nays? Ayes have it. All right, next, we're down to the VDOT presentation.
Good evening.
good evening.
My name's Eric Hartless. I'm the new Assistant Residency Administrator for the Wise Residency. Mr. Sumter couldn't be here this evening, so he sent me. If you used to deal with Wade, I've taken his position, so.
Can you spell your last name?
Hartleess.
Hartee.
TLESS.
Heartless. Heartless.
I just got a quick update. I only took over about 2 months ago, so I'm still trying to learn everything and get caught up with everything. From the February flood, we had 54 permanent repair sites in the county. 95% of them are complete. We just have 2 GSI sites left on Little Candy Ridge that need to be repaired. And 100% of the debris removal has been completed. For work completed, Route 63 patching, that's been completed. If there were any other patches left out there, we're waiting till the springtime to get them patched. Route 603, we did patching and paving. That's been completed. Rock House Road and
What is
DC Canyon
Route
Ridge,
603?
they're both scheduled for latex. We did the pothole patching out there. They're scheduled to be latexed this spring.
Excuse me just a moment. Route 603, where is that?
That is Steve's Branch.
Oh, so that's Steve's Branch. When you mentioned DC County Ridge Road, what part
It's
of
called,
County
they will
Ridge,
latex it.
what part of County Ridge you talking about?
Dave, do you know which part is?
You gonna do 649 and 637, Dave?
Yeah, what he's referring to. On the schedule for next year for latex, and Rhonda, I can get that information to you.
Well, my part's 637, then it goes to what is it?
649.
649 at the Rock House.
Right.
So what part of 637 are you talking about gonna do?
We'll pull that information and we'll get it to you tomorrow. I forgot to print out the paving schedule to bring this
So
evening.
this
but-
is for next year, right?
Yes.
Spring.
And you got County Ridge patching, what part of County Ridge patching are you talking about there?
Dave, do you know which part of Canyon Ridge?
It was Mayan mostly, I think, that I had called in.
Some of you all the schedule for next year, paving and latex schedule, I think
It's, yeah,
discussed it, having Michelle,
Yeah.
and, anyway, I'll get that information to you tomorrow.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Have to look in the pavement system and see
Well, I also find it hard to believe that you have removed 100% of the debris
From the
all
the
over the
flood.
county?
from the
From the
February
flood?
flood, yes.
From the February flood?
yeah, from the
Well, okay, well, I don't know that, you've done that?
oh, yeah, I saw them go through town.
Well, I've
lots
seen
of
some
it.
places that debris, I have a particular place in my district at, Pine Creek. You know where I'm talking about, Pine Creek? Pine Creek down on the Pound River? You couldn't have removed all the debris that's in that creek. Yeah. I mean,
we'll
that,
take a look
they
at it.
got hit hard, and that, right there where Philadelphia Chapel is, they got 2 big 3 or 4 feet diameter, drain pipes there that have been moved up. So they're not effective toward getting the water down the road.
Okay, we'll take a look at it.
I would appreciate that, cause they got hit pretty rough, Pine Creek did.
All right.
And then, where I was talking to you earlier, I met him out there, up Ida Hollow here in Clintwood.
Adeline's next.
Ida Lane, up there where Keith Byers lives. I have called y'all numerous times. That part of his yard fell in February flooding.
I talked to Greg today. They were supposed to have it done, but the weather messed
I've
us up.
heard that over for about,
But I did talk to him today. He's supposed to be on that next week. So I'll
you know
make
what
sure.
my granddaughter said the other day?
What's that?
I live up there next to y'all's VDOT building. She went by, she's 12 years old, and she said, they can throw up a building here worth millions of dollars, and they can't do certain things like cutting a tree. Uh-huh.
My guys, they do work hard.
I'm not saying they don't work, they work hard, but also, there's a tree out, Rock House Hollow there there's a tree hanging, I just came from there. Tree hanging over the road, if it falls, it's gonna kill somebody.
Okay. I'll get
Okay.
somebody out there to take a look at it and get it down.
And then
On
Dave,
Rockhouse Road?
not Rock House,
I thought
it's
now,
in
I'm coming down
Clintwood,
to
it's
the
not
right
Rock House. It's called Powerhouse Holler, Powerhouse Holler.
Wait till they got down there to do that.
It's up, it's sort of next to the Ida Lane,
Okay.
Powerhouse Holler. It's as you go out, Clintwood on 83, east, you take the first right there, road right there, and go down in that, then it circles around and comes out in Clintwood. That's what I'm talking about.
We'll get
And
somebody out there
I
and we'll
would
take a look
appreciate
at
if
it.
you, and then I've talked to you, and I know that and I appreciate, I don't want to sound like I'm gonna whoop you all the time, because I appreciate what y'all did on, Osborne, the Cape Jacob Road, where it had fell in, and that was a federal project, I believe. And y'all, they came in and put rocks on the side there, and, you patched it now, and you paved all the way out that road on, Cape Jacob Road, and I appreciate what you did, thank you for that. And I was out there Saturday night, and it's pretty good. Of course, you do need a guardrail there, but still, you can pass there. All that road's a little bit
Yeah.
scary. And I was told that you get a guardrail only if there's a lot of accidents there. The sheriff's department reports there's a lot of accidents at a certain place. Then you're more likely to get a guardrail. Is that true?
The guardrail has to meet a certain, though the road has to meet a certain criteria for a guardrail. If you want, I can have our engineer take a look at it and see if it meets the criteria for it.
Was it Dave it was Dave Hampton told me that it had to have a lot,
That goes into a road
yeah.
pertaining, request for guardrail, and Eric was saying there, and you can get a study or something. Give you a little bit more. A lot of other things.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're right.
Thank you.
And then we just talked about Ida Lane.
We just talked about it, and I jumped the gun.
Alpine Drive, where the two pipes washed out, the area is waiting for a plant to open for a day so they can get some asphalt out there and greater patch
That's
over
my
top of that.
district also.
Is that in your district?
Yeah.
And then Tom's Creek, they are currently removing the trees off the cup slopes, and grade work is planned to begin next week, weather dependent. That's
That'd be
all I
great.
have.
Our truckers are very excited about those improvements to that route, so.
Yep, we are too.
That's all you have? You're through?
And if y'all have any questions for us.
I've got a question, and you're starting work on the roundabout up at the four-way, right, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am. That's
I just came by
construction.
there.
Yep, that's construction. So.
Around, I didn't come through that.
I just came by there, and, what's your projection on that right there?
The last time I talked to them, I don't want to tell you a certain date. I'd have to talk to them again to figure out exactly what their time frame is for that. But we can get back to you on that.
Well, it looked like they were up there working on across from 637, as you go up 637 toward the school, toward the Ridgeview School, they were up there on that knoll. They had a piece of equipment up there, they were working on that knoll.
Okay.
And I just wonder what the projection is on being finished or done, or what it is, you know?
Okay, I can get you that information and
Which I'm so glad to see that y'all finally started on that, because that is the most dangerous, it is a very and all of us are interested in that, because it affects all of our districts, because our kids go to school up at Ridgeview. And it affects all of us. And I don't know that, you know, when it was started, that the roundabout was my ideal thing, but I kept asking, why don't you put a red light up there? And you said you couldn't. So I just want the people to know that you all are starting work.
yes.
And you have equipment up the road parked. Of course, they tore a house down. I think that was the coal company that tore the house down.
It probably was.
Is that y'all's equipment below the house?
I would have to check. I'm not sure.
There's a trailer there with underpinning.
I'll have to take a look at that. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to learn Canada and what's going on. So.
Well, it's just, did you come down that way, Shirley?
No, I come Rock House.
Well, I come down that way, that's, because I only live a couple miles from the
It's closer
roundabout.
for me to come the other way, but I went
I live a
Rock House.
mile up the road, then a mile out Bias Ridge, but, yeah, I use it. It's very dangerous when school is, taken up and when school is, so I don't know how long it'll take you guys to do the roundabout, but I'm glad you're started.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate the work y'all done on 603 up there. I didn't anticipate that would be done this year, and they rushed and got it done. It looks really good on Steve's Branch and Sugarcane Lane.
Yep. Our crews did a great job out there.
Very nice paving job there. And I'm so thankful to get that job done. My phone has not rung, not even one time about Steve's Branch since that happened, so
I'll pass it along to the area.
they done great, and I appreciate it so much.
Not a problem.
And the patching too, they've done tremendous amount of patching. I
Yes,
know
they have.
The weather freezing and thawing, we're gonna get more potholes and stuff, and that'll be something for spring, but they've done, the crew has worked hard, and they've done a really good job, and I'm thankful for every one of them. And I think we got one of the best VDOT crews around.
I agree. Thank you very much.
And Greg is outstanding to
Yes,
work
he is.
with.
Outstanding. I can message him at 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, and he'll message me back. I try not to do that, but he
I've
is
done the
great.
same thing. I think I'm gonna
I
hold it
appreciate
till,
them too.
you know,
I've known
Monday.
Greg for a long time. He's a real good guy. Yeah,
He
working
is.
with.
But Greg's a hard worker down there.
Yeah, not when he's a
Very
teenager.
polite.
He is great. Thankful to have him.
Well, thank y'all very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, we
I do
appreciate
have
it.
you,
one
Eric.
question.
Yes.
Is there any way that we could get like a monthly report on what VDOT has accomplished through the month, or?
We can work on
maybe,
that. Yeah. We can work on something like that.
I did talk to Greg about it one time, and he said they kind of keep track of that anyway. So if we could get some kind of report or something every month, or at least every quarter.
Yep, we're trying to be here at least, we're generally trying to do it at least once every 3 months, trying to do it once every other month. But we'll work on getting you something.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Welcome to VDOT.
All right. We'll move on to 10A, appointments, Southwest Virginia Emergency Medical Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Currently, Mr. Kendrick serves on that role. He's eligible for another 3-year term. His term expires January 31st, 2026, and Mr. Kendrick has indicated he is willing to serve again if the board so desires him to do so.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Mr. Ron Kendrick back to this EMS Council Board of Directors, Southwest Virginia.
Just have to nominate him, don't you?
I'll nominate him.
Any other nomination? All right. Go ahead and close the nominations. Do we need to vote on that, or just move along, since there's no other?
Let's call for a vote.
Yeah,
And then-
we have to vote on it, I think. My computer's gone
You can say, oh, you don't have to vote individually, I guess, do you?
I don't
We have
think
to vote to approve it, don't we?
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve Ron to serve on that. Southwest Emergency
Already made that
Medical
motion.
Well,
Well, it's a nomination.
It's a nomination, so you just
Oh,
vote
she's
on the
gonna
order they've
second.
received, so.
Okay,
Correct.
Okay. All in favor, Mr. Kendrick?
Aye.
Ayes well, any opposed? The ayes have it. Don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry, Ron.
We appreciate your service. You
Thank
did
you.
an excellent job representing us.
I don't know why my computer went down next.
Next, we have the Southwest Virginia Alcohol Safety Program.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, on this, I have spoken with Mr. Newberry on this, and with everything he has going on right now, he's got a lot of irons in the fire, and he really said he would stay on it till you could find someone. Of course, his term expires January 31st, but he is going to look about possibly making a recommendation for somebody that he might recommend that would be good to serve in his place. But if the board has someone else that you'd like to appoint, otherwise, we can always just table this till January.
Didn't
So-
Stephen Mullins used to serve on that?
He did, and we talked about Stephen, and he said Stephen really probably didn't want to go back on. He didn't think right now, but he said he would, get us a recommendation on that. But if the board has someone else you'd rather or like to
What's,
nominate,
is it Sandy Short that works for Josh?
Mm-hmm.
She might be. We'll let Josh, I'm sure he'll.
yeah, I'd
You'll-
recommend probably
you'll
tabling
recommend
this till
somebody.
January and come back.
We
We
can
still got
table
time to
that
do
one, can't we?
Yeah, we can table it till.
We always try to put these on a month earlier than they expire, just for
We
situations
don't have
like
to
this
make a
that we
motion
may
to
need
table it, do we?
another month on.
Jesus, I
So
don't know if my computer's gonna come back.
Okay, we'll go ahead and table B. C, we have the 9th District Development Financing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Currently, Ms. Rita Surratt serves on this board. It's a 2-year term, and Ms. Dana Cronkite is her alternate. Both of those are eligible for reappointment. Again, those terms expire on January 31st. Ms. Surratt, of course, is retiring at the end of December, but she's going to submit later to the board of the boards that she's requesting to resign from as well. So, again, you could reappoint her, or you could reappoint someone else, or you could table this one
I'd
until
like to
January.
nominate Dana to be the first one then.
I think that'll be
Do we
fine.
have to have an alternate, or does it?
We do have to have an alternate. We need to handle those separately, so we go ahead and do the nominations. Mr. Chair, if you want to open up nominations, let Ms. Willis nominate Ms. Cronkite, then
Okay.
we can vote on that one first.
We'll open up nominations and nominate Dana.
I would like to nominate Dana Cronkite to serve as the first representative.
Any other nomination? We'll close nominations and ask for a vote on Ms. Cronkite. All in-
Dana willing to take that?
I've not spoken with her, but I think she would be, so.
'Cause
Well, she's the
she's
alternate
already an
anyway,
alternate.
so
Okay,
if Rita's
that's all
gonna
right.
resign,
Yeah.
I would move her up, yeah.
All in favor of Dana?
Aye.
As well, any opposed?
And table.
And we will need an alternate as well, so
Yeah.
she's currently the alternate, so if the board, whoever the board may choose to put in that, or, Sabrina Stanley is our
Well, Sabrina,
number 2.
let her be the
in
alternate.
I
economic
think Sabrina
development.
would be, I'll nominate Sabrina.
I'll second.
Any other nominations
You
for
don't
the
have to
alternate?
second it, do you?
I don't know.
You don't have to.
We'll close nominations. All in favor of Sabrina, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As well, any opposed? Ayes have it. Industrial Development Authority, D, appointments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Ms. Jennifer Mullins has served as the Willis District Representative on the Industrial Development Authority for the past 2 years. Ms. Mullins has done an excellent job on the IDA board, and I hate to see her go, but she has sent a letter of resignation in on that, asking to step down just with, her business and other things that are going on. She doesn't feel she has the time to devote to that. So with her resignation, they need to accept that first.
They do.
We would have to accept the resignation first, and then after that, we could open the floor for nominations from the Willis District on that, so.
I'll make a motion that we accept Jennifer's resignation.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any discussion? All right, now we need to appoint somebody new, and it's your district.
Now, I'm gonna nominate Brett Tiller to fill that position.
Brett Tiller. Any
He
other
moved to
nom-
your district. He was in my district.
Any other nomination? All right, we'll close the nominations. All in favor of Brett Tiller being on the Willis District Industrial Development Authority position, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? New business. We're down to the support letter for the grant on new business 11A for Dixon County Public Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Of course, as all members know, Dickinson County Public Schools applied for a school construction grant of $2.4 million that would go towards the estimated $8 million construction project for a freestanding clinic on campus that can be used for training and education for their nursing program, as well as additional space for robotics and other STEM programs. In order to apply for this grant, they needed a letter from the Dixon County Board of Supervisors committing continued funding for education in their annual budget. And of course, this letter was provided to the schools on November 21st, and we will need to ratify that letter, so we would need a motion to ratify the letter that was provided to them.
I make a motion that we ratify the letter to the Dickinson County School.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Shut down.
I have a motion and a second to
That's what I do.
send a support letter for the school.
Shut down now.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? All right, then we got down to the food bank memorandum of understanding.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before you start, Ms. Willis, is Mr. Mel's need to help you with that?
I
Is it
can't
quit on you?
get back on it. I can't find my,
Well,
yeah, I can't find my
Computer's glitched on her, I think, Adam, so.
Sorry,
thing from Casey.
I didn't notice it. I wasn't trying
I
to off
looked
later.
at Casey's. It just went, mine went completely down.
Charge it.
Oh, yeah.
I had to bring mine back to get worked on too,
We did,
the other day.
I would have found it later.
We got a good group, though. I'm sure they got it fixed for you, so.
Thank you.
5 minutes.
I don't know how come it went down, but it did.
All right.
And it rebooted
So I'll go on with the
completely.
food bank MOU. Of course, the Dickinson County Food Bank receives a lot of funding
I knew
that is restricted and can only be used for a certain designation, whatever their funder might say, that a certain food may have to be purchased with it or whatever. But, you know, with their auditors and for their operation, the food bank needs something to show. Of course, the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors makes an annual appropriation to the food bank each year. And they just need something from the board stating that the monies that they receive from you can be used for their operational expenses, such as, you know, insurance, putting fuel in their truck, things like that, as well as, you know, most of it is used to buy food with. But they do have expenses, and they just need something to show that all their funds from the board are not restricted for a certain purpose of purchasing food to be distributed. So, before you have a memorandum of understanding that the food bank had drafted and provided, and Mr. Sturgill had some edits to that. And, you know, we're asking that that be adopted, just stating that the funding coming from the Board of Supervisors can be used for their operational costs as well as purchasing food for distribution, so.
Everybody had a chance to read that?
I don't see anything wrong with doing that, do you?
No, I don't. You, Mr.
They have
Sturgill?
other
I do
expenses
not.
besides buying food.
Correct.
Correct. And I think we made that clear, which is part of my edits, that
Right.
obviously the ultimate mission's to deliver the food, but obviously there's fuel costs, there's a little bit of overhead. And so, to me, as long as that money's going toward the ultimate mission, that's the key in this. And that's what this MOU is saying.
Well, I'll make a motion that we pass this MOU for the food bank.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second to approve the MOU with the food bank. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Then we're down to the mutual search and rescue MOU.
Mr. Chair, you want me to do that one, or would you like to do that one? Where it's your area?
You can go ahead.
Okay,
I might
sure.
add on
I'll be
to
glad.
it.
I'll be glad to do it. So a little bit of background. Of course, the counties of Russell, Washington, and Wise counties, along with some of the Russell County towns, wish to enter into a mutual search and rescue MOU in order to better provide training and response to natural disasters in our region. They have asked us to join them in this memorandum of understanding, and the hope with this and joining everybody together is going to be that we can obtain grant awards in order to provide training for the staff and to be able to purchase needed equipment. I've spoken with Mr. Thacker in emergency management. He definitely feels like this would be a benefit to the county, and of course I do as well. So Mr. Sturgill has reviewed this agreement as well, and everything's
Language looks good to me.
Yeah. I think it'd be a big benefit not only to Dixon County, but to the whole region. They can help us, we can help them, and we can obtain equipment better on a regional aspect than you can as a single county.
Right.
They look at it, if 4 counties goes in, that it's gonna benefit the region. So I think it's a great thing, and I read over everything, and the MOU looks good.
Mr. Thacker, you mentioned to me before in the past, y'all tried to get funding for some of this training and stuff, and, this would be a big help, because that's dangerous work, when you go into swiftwater rescues and things like that, so.
It is. When we do have 2 boats, so if we can get some additional training, it's gonna do nothing but benefit the citizens.
I agree.
I would encourage this to be passed.
I'll make a motion that we pass this mutual search and rescue with the MOU with the other counties and towns.
I'll
Is it-
second.
I have a question, Mr. Thacker.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I read the other day, or I heard on the news that St. Paul's getting a place where you can do training and so forth for the fire department and so forth?
I think it's St. Paul. Is it St.
Is it
Paul,
St.
Nathan, that's
Paul?
gonna get that facility?
It's supposed to be a big facility, right? Is that gonna be located in Russell County or Wise County? Thank you.
We have a motion and a second on the MOU for the search and rescue. We've not voted on that yet, have we? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? All right, the genome maps MOU.
Mr. Chair, I'll take this one as well, and this kind of goes along again with emergency management, some of the disasters that we respond to in the county, but Cumberland Plateau Planning District Commission, the PDC, along with several other PDCs in the state, received some grant funding and have entered into an agreement with Juno Maps using those grant funds. And this agreement actually would give Dickinson County access to a 1-year subscription to the Juno Maps platform. It's the site plan platform, as well as one iPad that would have cellular service on it for 1 year. And the big thing with that would be, you can do other things with it outside of a disaster, but during a disaster, it allows you all the data, to tie in with your GIS and with the software that Juno Maps has for better planning, better assessments like after and during these disasters. And again, there's no cost to the county. At the end of this 1-year MOU, then we just turn the iPad back in, or if someone found continued funding, or if it's something the county got grant funding, if it was a good service, we may want to try to find funding to continue that. But right now, there's no cost or obligation to the county for entering into this. And, there's been some regional meetings and webinars and stuff they've done on this. And Richard and I both feel, again, there's really no risk to the county in doing this, to try this and see what services it'll benefit us with.
And you never know, after the year, the state might pick it up like they did crisis track, if it's a big benefit.
Right.
So it doesn't cost us anything for our first year to try it for free, so.
Then I'll make the motion to approve the member locality agreement with Juno Maps.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Maps MOU. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Down to the health insurance renewal.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. As everyone knows, our health insurance is an annual renewal each January 1st. Our renewal's running a little later this year. Jeff had reached out to us. They've been having a lot of negotiations with our underwriter and with our stop loss carrier. But honestly, our renewal, of course, it's based upon claims history and payments because we are, mostly self-insured. But our renewal looks much better than what I originally anticipated with that. Overall, our proposed renewal is about $75,000 higher than the current year. It's about a 2.44% increase, which is very impressive in my opinion. Most localities that I've talked to are looking at double-digit increases, some, upwards of 20% and higher in places that I've talked to. Jeff Green and Healthcare Choice does a very good job at managing our plan for us and our benefits for us. In going through this, the renewal's attached in your packet there, but they are recommending, originally what he said delayed them when I'd spoken with him. The renewal was several $100,000 higher and he had to do a lot of negotiating, a lot of work, but he's got it down to where it is. But with the renewal, he is recommending that we make one change to our prescription copays. And currently they're $10 for generic, $20 for brand, and $35 for the specialty. What we're seeing right now is that about 20% of our prescriptions that are being filled are being dispensed as written as a brand instead of with the generic, and the employee is having to pay $10 extra to get that, and it's costing the plan a whole lot of money by filling the brands versus the generics. Now, some medicines, if you try the generic and it doesn't work, you can do a waiver and get the brand. But he's recommending going to lowering the generic to $5 from $10 to $5, and then raising the brand from $20 to $30. So it puts a $25 gap. It's not going to make people be so apt to say, well, I'll just pay $10 more and get the brand on that as a means for trying to control costs. So it would change our copay from $10, $20, $35 to $5, $30, $50. Again, right now, our prescription claims are about 29% of our overall expenses. And in, most plans, the target is going to be to have your prescriptions down to about 20% of the total plan costs. So this is a means, the employees still can't get the brand if they so desire, but, the generic, 9 times out of 10 is the same formulary and will work. So that's the change he is recommending, the only change he's recommending in this. But again, I was very pleased with the 2.44% renewal. So
That's fantastic. I know we had a meeting with the solid waste, and his insurance went up $300 a month.
mm-hmm.
It went from, I think he's $1,600 to $1,900 a month.
And we have
That was family coverage.
I do know that with our plan, sometimes, we have aggravation, we have issues and stuff with our plan. At the end of the day, it pays very well. Miss Karen does a very good job as far as whenever issues come up, it being the go-between between, our insurance company and the employee to try to get them connected to the right person. It helps. I mean, we couldn't have the coverage we do and the costs that we have if we had like a fully insured, United Healthcare or Anthem or Aetna or something like that. So, being the self-insured the way we are, I know it is sometimes aggravating for our employees, and there's sometimes some hoops to jump through waiting on that secondary to pay. But at the end of the day, it saves our employees money and it saves the county money by having that. So, and like I said, I do commend Jeff Green and his staff for the good job they do at trying to keep our costs down. So,
One problem I see with that is that's particularly going to target diabetics that can't get generic, let's say Jardiance I don't know of a generic for Jardiance if they have to take that, or Ozempic. I take 2 different insulin shots, and both of them are named Brandon. I can't
They're
get them
branded.
in generic, and I think there's a lot of people that, we have a lot of diabetics that work for the county. But I guess it's as long as it is short. If we get 5 on the other stuff, it's going to all work out in the long run.
But we would hope so.
I would hope so.
It's not a means to try to punish anybody, it's just a means of trying to get the
Was
cost
he
down
going
there.
to, Jeff gonna come for a meeting with the insurance, committee, or?
That's the
did he-
thing, where everything's just running so late, that's what, I'd reach out to Kevin and to Crystal to see, if we can get together maybe on the phone or something and do something, because Jeff sent all this to us, so.
It could be worse.
I make a motion that we approve our health insurance renewal
A motion to hear a
as
second.
presented.
I'll second it. Have a motion and second on the floor to approve the health insurance renewal. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? We're down to the sheriff's office vehicle purchase.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You me give an introduction on this and ask the sheriff to come up, or how do you want to do this one?
Yeah, I'd say we'll let the sheriff come and speak on this.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see everybody.
Howdy.
I hope to not take much of your time tonight, but what I'm here asking for is for the county to allow me to purchase a vehicle that was not purchased in last year's budget. That's my only request.
And to do so, members of the board, what the board would have to do is give me direction to prepare a budget amendment to bring back before the board for approval at our January meeting. In order to do that, to bring money out of our reserves into this current year's budget in order to fund that purchase that the sheriff is
So if it's
requesting.
left over, it goes into our general fund.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to, and I apologize, I want to add a little something to that. If approved, I would also like to purchase that vehicle from Johnson Chevrolet, our only dealership in the county.
Members of the board, I will add on that too. We always try to make all of our purchases local and do everything local, but just, to cover us and things, be clear, we would have followed procurement, Mr. Fleming, and go through the proper procurement channels on doing so, so.
And Larry and I talked a little bit earlier on the phone, and I'm willing to work with you guys any way possible to save some money. I know the situation the county's in, so I'm not opposed to doing something different other than a Tahoe. We talked about trucks.
And Sheriff and I have had a good conversation. I've talked to Mr. Johnson as well, and I think, we can definitely work on something that'll work for everybody, I think, don't you?
I think we can, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to go to something smaller, because I tell you, I get a lot of complaints about those Tahoes. And if you go throughout the state, you don't see those. You see small cars, police cars. All the towns got small. But I think y'all are gonna have to go to something smaller, because I get a lot of complaints about the Tahoes.
Yeah, we purchased a few Tahoes. They're extremely hard to get. But they are more convenient for us, and I do understand the budget
Be more
side of it.
convenient for me too, but I can't afford one.
Yeah, no, I understand, but you got a couple of deputies that are nearing the 300-pound mark, and you put on a vest and you put on all this belt, and you got to look at the back of those cars too, and the room you got in the back of those cars, and that's where the Tahoe really excels. Because in the back of these cars, we keep boots, we keep clothes, we keep, there's boxes of flares, there's shields, there's vests, there's AEDs, there's evidence boxes, there's fire extinguishers. That's just a small part of it. But you can look at our Tahoes and see how neat and organized they are compared to what you can put in the back of a smaller vehicle. It's really difficult. But again, I'm willing to work with the board any way possible and do what we got to do, and hopefully we can work something out.
Members of the board, I think, we've got kind of a two-part thing here. I think, first of all, the board has to give me direction, if you so desire, to prepare a budget amendment and bring back to the board for approval. And then from there, I think it's with the sheriff as far as, working with him as far as the second part on, what you'd like to see him purchase and what you all can work on that, so.
Can we not just give the sheriff a budget and let him decide what he needs for his agency?
Whatever the pleasure of the board is, correct.
I mean, I get it that the Tahoes look a lot fancier than the other vehicles, but you're looking at pulling trailers, boats, going into places that, let's say Withville, for example, they don't have the mountainous terrains that we travel, the gas well roads and the mud, and I understand the need, but I think we ought to just like every other budget item, give him a budget and let him work with it. If he can buy two Tahoes versus 3 Explorers, if that's what he wishes to do, I think we'll allow the sheriff the right to do that. I mean,
Right. And I agree, but I think the sheriff and I also have to work, looking at our total capital asset replacement plan. We have to have a
Yeah.
plan in place, because sheriff and I were talking earlier, if we get into a place where not, the board has to continue each year buying vehicles, X amount of vehicles that we need, because otherwise, if we don't, we run into a situation where our repair bills are gonna be exorbitant. We're gonna have a safety aspect for our officers as far as sending them out in something that may not be roadworthy or safe, so it's kind of twofold. I mean, I think we have to budget enough money so that we can replace, you know, and the sheriff does a good job. His staff sends a report each month on the mileage they're putting on these vehicles and stuff. You know, your road deputies, they put a lot of miles on a vehicle during a month and stuff. So, you know, these people might think we got new vehicles by looking at them, but a lot of them, you know, are already in excess of 100,000 miles, aren't they, Sheriff? So,
Yes, yes, they are. I apologize for not having my board report complete, but it's just been a busy day, a lot going on, busy week, so. But you guys may even have the mileage report. I'm not sure if it got emailed to you or not.
or if it came or not.
And I know it's not my place to do this, but I would love for Mr. Johnson to come up and speak to the board. I guess that would be a board decision, but he plays a big part in this.
I'm fine with that.
I just got one question for you before you do that. Do you have to have a vehicle that has the police package on it?
No, you do not.
Because there's places I think you can use vehicles without that, I guess.
Yeah, and Larry and I talked about that earlier as well. And, you know, school resource would be a good place. You know, there's 6 vehicles there. Unfortunately, with your help, we've been able to replace most all those vehicles already, and they already have fairly new vehicles, most all of them. But no, you're correct.
That would kind of help keep the cost kind of down on certain vehicles, I know.
Yes.
Is that 2,400 what you've got in this? That, cost to make them, to do the restocking fee of the Tahoe? Is that what that's here? Is that the amount that costs?
No,
So
no, ma'am.
I think what you're talking about is that we had planned to order a Tahoe last year that didn't get ordered, and we had already ordered the equipment for that Tahoe.
Okay.
And to send all that equipment back, there's a restocking fee, and I think it's $2,400.
It's
$2,470?
Yeah, $2,470, and of course, we've not received that equipment nor paid for that equipment yet.
Right.
They have it, the MCA that does the upfitting, or whatever they're called now.
What Chris asked, do they have to have this restocking?
Well, they have to, any vehicle we buy is gonna have to be upfitted, because you can't take just a passenger vehicle and put it out there. It's gonna have the lights and the cage and the sirens and the push bar and, you know, all the equipment, the radios, all that put in it, and that's an expense on any vehicle. But what Chris is referring to, the PPV, the police package vehicle, it's gonna be, you know, I think all of our road deputies, I think Sheriff agrees too, I think all of our road deputies, anybody patrolling has to have a PPV. I think, you know, it's gonna be larger brakes, it's better performance, it's a lot safer vehicle if they're in pursuit of somebody. You know, brakes is one of the big things, and Mr. Johnson can share more of the details on them, but they're more equipped for, you know, a police vehicle and for pursuit. But the upfitting, any vehicle that's purchased has to be upfitted to be a sheriff's vehicle with all the equipment added, the console, you know, everything that goes in the vehicle. We're gonna have that expense with whatever that we purchase, albeit a Tahoe, a truck, a Explorer, Traverse, whatever it might be, so.
Is this something that could have been put in the budget that was presented to us that we approved in June?
It could have, and at the time,
To
you know,
where
we
we
were.
wouldn't be,
Correct, and we were doing that. I think I'll speak for myself and the sheriff. I think neither one of us really realized at the time really where we were. That I didn't anyway. I'll say I didn't realize that
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't either.
that all the vehicles had not been purchased that was in the budget for last year, so, you know.
Why didn't you purchase?
I think there was a problem with getting the vehicle.
Because it was a Tahoe?
There was a back
If you'd
order.
went down to an Explorer, could you have got it then?
Yes, we could have got an Explorer, yes.
How comparable is a Traverse
No, they're pretty
for the
good.
space? You would not believe what I can haul in my Traverse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John would probably be better to speak on a Traverse and the specs and so on.
You've got
So
one,
hard to
Investigator
get.
Stidham has
We do have
Traverse
one,
currently.
and
The
it's,
size, Peggy, to answer your question, as compared to the Tahoe, there's not a length on a Traverse and a Tahoe is very similar. A Tahoe's taller, wider, it's a larger SUV. A lot of the big plus on the Tahoe and the police package, a little safer vehicle for the deputies. Full frame. There's more vehicle there, there's more metal there. It's just a bigger vehicle than, say, a police. One of the things about the Traverse, though, back definitely work for certain applications. If it had three vehicles in a police Tahoe in a PPV special service package in that Tahoe. Truck in the police package. Blazer in the police package.
and I'll be happy to answer any more
My
questions.
Traverse has got some get up. I can come off of Dank Mountain Road and get on the bridge. And if I floorboard my Traverse, I can be over 65 mile an hour just past the PSA. I mean, it's got some get up.
Yeah, I don't disagree with
Yeah.
that.
It-
I don't
you
disagree
can,
with that.
but I understand, you know, too.
And the Traverses, they are a fine
Yeah.
vehicle, plenty of power, plenty
Yeah.
of room. It would just be a matter of if it would work for the sheriff's department's application.
They're so
I think
hard
they
to
have one in
get.
service right now, don't you, Jerry?
Yes,
And don't come over through there looking for me to tromp it down.
I'll be watching for you.
They're so hard to get, aren't they, John? The Traverse and,
Well, that's the thing, and it's not just the Tahoes, but all your police package vehicles right now are not easy.
Aren't the new Traverses on Tahoe chassis?
About all of your police package vehicles are. Because of the demand of all the departments, I think there was a.
Is Traverses built on a Tahoe chassis now?
No, all your Traverse, your Ford Explorer, those are considered crossover SUVs.
Oh, okay.
They're not built on a full frame. I think the Expedition
And we're gonna
$20,000
continue to
difference.
pursue any grant options or any grants that are available out there. And Ron's here tonight. Ron has been a great asset to the sheriff's office. I think we were successful on that, the rural development grant, Ron, for the vehicle, what, 3 years in a row? So we're gonna continue to do what we can to save money and cut costs where we can, so.
And through Mr. Kendrick's help on that, you know, it took us times that we'd budgeted for 2 vehicles that allowed us to be able to buy 3 sometimes, you know. So it really, really helped the county. And we were so behind when the sheriff came into office originally on our vehicle replacement and stuff. You know, the board's been very gracious, and we've been blessed to have ARPA funds and things like that to help with. And they were blessed with a good grant, you know, to buy the vehicles, some they bought last year. But it's got us in a pretty good place right now. But as a board, we've got to keep up with buying those vehicles every year, very quickly we'll be back in a bad place, because the mileage report is included in here, by the way, but you know, a lot of these vehicles get a lot of miles on them every month, so.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you, because like I said, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be in the shape we're in. We're in really good shape with vehicles right now. We're where we need to be, and I appreciate that.
With this particular vehicle, can you use one without the PPV?
You can, yes.
So you've got room for one of those vehicles to kind of help us kind of stay in our budget and not spend so much outside of, you know, what we've already done. And then the next budget cycle, you know, we go through and kind of appropriate what vehicles you need then. And
Yeah.
The vehicle I think you're looking at, Sheriff, is gonna be a patrol vehicle. That's correct.
Yes, we'll be a patrol vehicle this
It
one.
is gonna be a patrol vehicle.
So you have to have that
Possibly
stuff.
a canine.
You can move vehicles around.
We can move vehicles
Yeah.
around. And, you know, we also have one budgeted in this year's current
Correct.
budget cycle that I guess there's still a freeze on that we would like also, but we'll just wait on the.
And we're hoping, we've got some stuff in closed session tonight on how that's moving, but
Gotcha.
we're hoping that we can get that moving before long too.
And we all want y'all to have all the best equipment that we can possibly get you, you know, but like
Well,
Larry said, we've got to work together to make sure that we're getting enough vehicles on rotation and we don't get behind again, so.
What I'd like to recommend to the board, Mr. Chair, if I may, if the board so desires to direct me to do a budget amendment on that, then what I would request is that you allow the sheriff and I to work together, because as of right now, I can speak for myself. I mean, you or Mr. Johnson may have some numbers, but I wouldn't know a number to tell you all to tell me. I think we'd have to determine, you know, what it would be that the sheriff would be looking at buying and what that fitting would be, so I'd have a number to plug in for a budget amendment to bring back to you in January on that. So, or do you have a number? I don't really have anything as far as what.
No, I don't have a number right
So
off.
if they, you know, intend to do a budget amendment, if you could give me direction to work with the sheriff on that, and, you know, then, you know, we definitely want to buy locally and things, but we'll follow all the state procurement guidelines and stuff. We'll do everything that we have to do to meet that, so.
I can give you an estimate, but I just don't know the number.
But I think we could get that, you know, if they chose to do that, we could work together to get that number. I could plug it in and we could bring it back in January on that. So if that's what y'all desire to do, but then, you know, whatever communication y'all want to do on the vehicle type, whatever the board.
I think we had 60,000 budgeted. Is that correct?
That's what we were budgeting, 60,000 per vehicle is what we have been doing in the past, so
You can't get a Tahoe for $60,000.
not an upfit. is it?
Not upfitted, no.
You can buy the Tahoe for that or less.
But now, John, you wouldn't let me have a Tahoe. You can get a Tahoe for $60,000.
These packages, Tahoe, they're probably range back.
I don't
It ain't
think I
gonna
need that,
have
John.
Bells and whistles.
The consideration for the upfit is gonna be with any vehicle. So,
Yeah.
It would make a difference what brand it is. You still have to have lights and sirens and that kind of thing. So, I don't think there's an extreme amount of difference in the Tahoe versus.
Except for price. Really? Well, I know you're very good about getting it. I know you're a Chevrolet dealer, but he's very good about getting
Yeah.
your vehicle, and we appreciate that. And we all want to support our local businesses.
And I appreciate that, and I promise you that as far as our business, or any local business, you know, whenever you do spend your money with a local business in the county, it has its way of finding back to your tax base.
That's right.
Whereas an out would not, I mean, if, when money's spent out. I think one thing we need to look at as well is whenever. Why don't you just take it here and play with it? Or St. Paul or. That's a lot of. I would think next year. That's what we look at with the town as well.
True.
Yeah, that has been an issue. We did, I think, twice last week, made a trip to St. Paul, and it's 2 officers over and 2 back, each time. So it is an issue.
Is this something that would fall under our rules that we adopted, that when someone comes for money one month, we
No,
hold
ma'am,
off?
if you're not voting to give money, you're voting to give me authority to do a budget amendment that will
Oh,
come back in
okay.
January, so.
Okay. But is this something that could be looked at and thought about until we get through the closed session?
And whatever-
And see what we've got, maybe
Sure.
that's on the table for us to.
Yeah, whatever the pleasure of the board is, if you
And
take that down. or-
readdress that next month or something other, or?
It's really
or
whatever the
not?
pleasure of the board is, you can correct Mr. Sturgill and whatever.
But if we wanted you to keep talking to the sheriff and come up with a
To
kind
bring
of
back,
a plan or a vehicle that we can possibly purchase locally.
well, we have to be careful about saying we're gonna purchase local, we have to follow
Possibly.
state procurement laws.
Yeah.
We're gonna decide what we're gonna purchase, and then we have to do our procurement on it.
But
on
this
that,
is the
so-
first step of the process. The finalization of the step would be at the next meeting.
Yeah.
But we would have
We're
time
just
to
gonna give him
advertise our
the
budget. amendment,
authority
The
to do-
authority to be able
Yeah,
to do the budget.
Do the budget amendment and then advertise for it,
Correct.
and then.
So you
give
need
me
a
direction, work
motion
with the
for
sheriff.
us to allow you to adjust the, agenda.
To work with the sheriff on adding, an additional vehicle to this year's budget from the reserves. And then I would work with the sheriff and Mr. Johnson on numbers and things to get the number to plug in on what we were gonna do. And then I would advertise that budget amendment, and then we would come back in January and actually vote on it. Right now, you'd be voting to give me authority and telling me basically to do that that's your intent to provide him with another vehicle, and then we have to go through the process. So where we are doing this, it requires a budget amendment to do this, and so.
Well, what I was looking at is the issue that we're facing
No, I understand.
and on money of maybe not spending,
Right,
but,
right,
to wait till we get past that issue, then vote.
right. And that's always, yes,
Yeah.
you can do that as well, so.
I think that's what we should do, because there are gonna be things, I think, that we're gonna have to spend money on. Is that right, Larry? I mean,
Yes, again, whatever the pleasure of the board is on this, so.
well, I would agree with what Peggy says.
Will, what do they?
If
They
we
can
not
do it.
do the motion that's in front of us there, and just give them the authority to, start working on it.
Pull mine back up here, I've got several things open.
That gives them the intention that we're going to purchase the vehicle, right?
That we're
I think we
Yes,
need
if
to
we're doing-
wait till after our closed session till we decide whether we can do that.
Well, they can do that, they can pass over taking up any action on this right now until after close,
They
if they so
can.
desired, so.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, it's your call as far as you want to call for a motion now, or if you want to wait till after close, or whatever you so desire on that.
Well, I mean, do I hear a motion to let Mr. Barton and the sheriff work on the, possible purchase of a vehicle with the upfit that would go along with that from the vehicle from last year that they didn't get to purchase, that they was authorized to purchase?
Yeah, I'll make that motion. Martin, and the sheriff negotiate that or talk about that.
And then I'd prepare a budget amendment and bring it back. in
So
January.
then you wouldn't discuss it in closed session.
No, we can't discuss that, we can't discuss the vehicle in closed session, it will
Correct.
qualify, so.
Can you discuss the budget though?
No, it wouldn't be a closed session topic, it wouldn't qualify for that.
I'll second that motion.
He can vote on it.
A motion on the floor to allow Mr. Barton and Sheriff Fleming discuss the funding for the purchase and uplift of another sheriff's office vehicle that was awarded last year that they didn't get to purchase. All in favor signify by saying
Let me
aye.
clarify, that motion wasn't for me to prepare a budget amendment. for the
Nothing,
January meeting.
nothing against Richard, but is he supposed to be making this motion since he works for the
He
sheriff's
didn't
department?
make the
I
motion.
didn't make a motion, I just seconded it. He's not buying the vehicle for me. It doesn't affect me personally.
He
Okay.
just seconded, he didn't make the motion.
Well, what
But
I'm,
it's the chairman
is
to
there
make the
things
motion.
that, couldn't we put this off, I mean, I'm not against buying the vehicle, but I wanna wait and see after closed session if we're gonna have the monetary means to do this. We don't wanna end up like some of these other counties I've been watching. In, Wise County and Russell County and Buchanan County and be in the hole.
Right, and again,
We
we
don't
can't
wanna
talk
end
about
up like
this, and
that,
there's a
and
couple
I'm
things
not
on the
against, I'm
agenda.
all for the
But we have a
sheriff.
motion and a
We've
second
got
on the floor right
Motion
now.
on the floor we have to take up that Chris made.
Still, you can discuss it after the motion and the second,
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
if
we
you
can discuss.
recognize the chairman.
Mr. Chairman, what I'm saying is, I sort of would like to wait till after. Can we come out and make that motion?
You can, there's a motion and second on the floor right now, it's either gonna have to be, voted on or die, or they would withdraw it, and then it can have an opportunity to make it again after a close, yes, ma'am, because it is on the agenda. And so even if it fails now, I think they could reconsider after close if they so desired, or if it passes now, you can go on, I mean, whatever the pleasure of the board is, you've got a motion and a second on the floor, and it's open for discussion right now.
But just to make it clear, this is not something that's gonna be discussed in closed
Right, we
session.
cannot discuss.
Well, I
there-
understand that,
there's-
but there'll be other, things
There's
discussed.
two topics on close that qualify.
Correct.
Any other discussion? We'll go ahead and go through with the vote on the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm not opposed, I think I'm gonna vote. So you all discuss it and
prepare a
see
budget
what we
amendment.
can afford to get. I don't wanna go against my birthday buddy. I didn't know y'all knew that. John's my
Is
birthday
it your birthday
buddy.
too, John?
It's today's
Happy
John's
birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, I wished you happy birthday. I knew it.
Well, that's me. I'm not actually opposed to the vehicle. It's the timing of what else we're facing
No, I understand totally what
that,
you all are
that I
saying.
would like to have seen it pushed another month down the road. It's not that I'm opposed to the
Right.
I have to
vehicle.
agree with Peggy.
No, I understand
It
totally.
would have been an easier thing if it would have been put back in the budget, carry over from 25 back into 26 budget. And
I
we
agree,
would
it
not
would
be
be-
in this
Well, I
position.
think if Mr. Barton and Mr. Fleming works hard together and if Mr. Barton says, hey, can we hold off? I don't think the sheriff would have a problem in doing that.
I
No,
think
But
we can
this
work
just
together.
giving them authority to
To
work.
Just to
discuss.
initiate the process.
I mean,
But you will bring it back to us to vote
Well, it has to
on
go-
once you all
It would have
decide.
to come back to you all in January as a budget amendment.
Yes.
What you're doing tonight does not authorize me or the sheriff to purchase a vehicle.
Okay,
or
I
do
didn't
anything.
I'm gonna
understand that. I thought
vote
that
that
was
you
gonna
all
be-
discuss it and
Okay.
then bring it back.
We have to
Well,
bring
then
those
we'll
numbers
say
back, and
I'll
you have to
vote
actually do a
yes.
budget amendment in January, so.
Okay.
we
Well, I'll
have to
vote
give
yes.
adequate notice.
okay, so everybody's in favor then?
Yeah, let them discuss
Any
it and
opposed?
then bring it back to us in January.
All right, motion carries. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fleming. Thank you, Sheriff.
What's that
Stay
here now?
mad, all right.
All right.
If we weren't facing that other,
All right, we got to, schedule the reorganization meeting.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Of course, each year in January, the Board of Supervisors meets to officially reorganize for the upcoming year. During this meeting, the chair and vice chair will be elected, as well as we'll set our meeting schedule for the year. We usually set the budget schedule. All those annual things, we'll adopt our board rules of procedures, Robert's rules, just the same thing every year. Last year, we met on January 2nd, since January 1st is a holiday, so I'm proposing again to meet on January 2nd. I think it's important to reorganize as close to the beginning of the year. We could have an emergency declaration, we could have anything happen, so I think it's important to get everything established as early as we can. Last year, we did it on January 2nd at 11 o'clock a.m., and I think the 11 o'clock was at Ms. Sless's recommendation, not to go too early. But we're flexible, whatever
Now,
day,
wait just a minute.
whatever date and time the board would choose. I just went back with January 2nd at 11. That's what we did last year, but, you know, it's up to you all when you want to meet and reorganize, so.
Any suggestions?
We might have a hangover from January
I
1st.
would suggest that we start about 11
I think
That's what he said.
sufficient.
on January 2nd. I would make a motion to that effect.
You might have a hangover, Shelby.
I'll second.
Not me.
Well, a motion and a second
I'll tell you
to,
what,
No, not
I'll
me
probably
neither.
get all my work done now.
We have a motion and a second to schedule the
At
reorganization
11,
meeting
okay.
January the 2nd at 11 a.m. Any discussion on that? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye as well. Any opposed?
And Madam Clerk will take care of getting that advertised for us, that way we can get word out on that, so.
And we're down to the
Breaks part.
resolution for the Breaks Park transient occupancy tax.
Mr. Chair, I'll take that. Of course, currently, we do not receive any revenue from the Breaks Interstate Park. We're blessed to have the Breaks Park in the county, but we don't collect sales tax, transient occupancy tax, or anything with that. You know, we always hope that people traveling through, going to the park, you know, we can get them out in the county to spend money and to do things. A lot of good things are coming up. We've got the grant with Friends of Southwest Virginia that's partnered with Buchanan County. We're looking at how we build on the synergy at the Breaks to bring people into the county. But with everything going on at the Breaks, they're doing a fantastic job. Mr. Hall, I commend him. He's had several conversations with Park Superintendent, Mr. Bradley. And Mr. Bradley's not opposed to collecting the transient occupancy tax within the park boundaries. You've got the lodge, the cabins, the campground, things like that. And again, this would be, you know, it's what we pay whenever we go anywhere else, like at the Sleepy Inn or if we travel and go anywhere. But in order to collect that, it would require passage of a bill by the General Assembly to give authority to collect, for the locality to be able to collect a transient occupancy tax within an interstate park. So Delegate Moorfield has pre-filed that he intends to sponsor a bill for consideration in the 2026 session. And what we are presenting tonight is a resolution in support of this bill. And, you know, we would hope it would benefit the county on this and help with our tourism with that if we had more funding coming in to help with that. So that's what the resolution is. If it's all right with you, Mr. Chair, I will read this in to the record on this. So we've got a resolution in support of the transient occupancy tax on lodging in the Breaks Interstate Park. It states, whereas the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors wishes to receive additional revenue from transient occupancy tax to benefit our area, citizens, and community, and whereas there is not at the current time a law which would enable the county to impose a transient occupancy tax in an interstate park, and whereas it is our understanding that there is legislation to be introduced that would enable a transient occupancy tax at Breaks Interstate Park, and whereas if this legislation passes, this additional revenue would be greatly beneficial to the citizens of our county by creating additional revenue from the tourism from the interstate park. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors passes this resolution in support of the proposed legislation, which would enable the county to impose a transient occupancy on lodging in the Breaks Interstate Park. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution will be provided to our local representatives. And of course, that's what we're asking to pass this evening, and I do want to formally thank Delegate Moorfield and his staff, Mr. Lester, for their work on doing this. I think it would be a great benefit to us.
Does Kentucky get anything off the park? Does Kentucky have?
They do not. They don't have any lodging in Kentucky within the park on that, so all the lodging actually falls within Dickinson County.
So this, Mr.
Anything
Chairman,
developed in Kentucky, though, would be eligible for a transient occupancy tax.
Mr.
Kentucky
Chairman.
does allow it. So anything developed on the Kentucky side would be allowed to collect.
The county would get that percentage.
Yes, ma'am.
But,
It
Mr.
would.
Chairman, may I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
This has to, the General Assembly has to pass this, right?
Yes, ma'am. This is a resolution in support of that bill that Delegate Moorfield will be introducing.
Well, of course, we support the bill, but the chances of it passing is, it's been before the General Assembly before and failed.
Before, 2 times before, there's been legislation passed, entered to consider allowing transient occupancy tax to be collected at state parks on that.
Oh, this
State
is-
parks are under the jurisdiction of DHCD, as is the funding that the state gives towards the breaks. The breaks is funded way less than what state parks are. So there is concern as to whether or not this would pass, but it would benefit now both Dickinson and Buchanan, where Buchanan has purchased, where the Breaks has purchased the Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures with the campsites there. So they would tend to collect some revenue from that as well. They will be losing that revenue stream that they're currently collecting on those campsites.
I really think it's a good,
I think it
I'm
would be
for the
good, like I said,
resolution.
if it passes, but you never know. till
You never
try.
know, but it's worth a try.
So you need a motion to pass this resolution?
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
I'll make a move that we, motion that we do pass the resolution.
I'll second.
We have a motion second on the floor for the resolution for the Breaks Park Transit Occupancy Tax. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Ayes, well, any opposed? And we're down to the ordinances that we had the, public hearing on earlier. Adopt the ordinance on the, solar ordinance here. Motion to go ahead and pass that ordinance.
I make a motion that we adopt the solar ordinance.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt the solar ordinance that was discussed earlier. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. We entertain a motion to adopt the Veterans Exemption Ordinance.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? All right, and then the adoption of the solid waste ordinance. We have a motion for that.
I make a motion that we adopt the solid waste ordinance.
Second.
Go ahead,
Chris,
Shelby.
second it. Go ahead.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the solid waste ordinance. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Peggy, that'll take us down to you. That's your job.
How'd I get that job?
I don't know.
I make a motion that we go into closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A 1 and 7, A Section 2.2-3711A 1, I personnel, 1 all departments including a county administrator, B 2.2-3711A 7, I actual and probable litigation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the closed meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? We're now closed session. Closed session. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that whereas the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors that a closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors hereby certify that, to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the Dickinson County Board of Supervisors.
Excuse me. Sit here and froze on, huh?
Have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do a roll call vote. Mr. Hall, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Kaiser?
Aye.
Ms. Willis?
Aye.
Ms. Love?
Aye.
And I also. We got, matters discussed in closed meeting. Do we have any motions coming out of the closed meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to give the county administrator authority to hire the top candidate of the interview panel for clerk and to proceed to second if need.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. And we need to schedule a public hearing on the transit occupancy rate of January the 20th, 2025 at 5:50 p.m.
Sorry, it's a
Make a
typo on
motion.
our part, Mr.
That's
Chair,
what I was-
2026.
I was
didn't
just
catch
fixing to say that.
Oh, I'm, yeah, 2026, sorry.
January 2026.
I was just reading it.
It was our fault, so.
I make a motion that we schedule that public hearing for January the 20th of 2026.
Time is moving on.
Tell me about it. Faster
Oh, do you
the older
get
you
the-
get, the faster it goes.
I'll
That's the
second that. Scheduling the public hearing. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye as well. Any nays? All right, down to supervisor comments. Mr. Hall, you want to start?
I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Just kind of an update on what I've done. I took a trip to Oregon and Mr. Barton's place. He couldn't make it for energy workshop to kind of get together with 25 other local leaders from across the United States to talk about energy, mainly solar and wind. Got to tour some windmill sites, solar sites. We stayed at a hotel beside of a hydro dam, so there was a lot of discussion about energy and siting energy projects, and made a lot of good contacts with folks that have dealt with it. So hopefully, as our county kind of pursues those type projects and stuff, I'll have some insight on the ins and outs and do's and don'ts, and kind of get us in a position to take advantage of those. So,
Appreciate you going.
yeah, well, I appreciate you you letting me go in your place. It was very, very good trip. So I appreciate that, the opportunity.
All right, Ms. Kaiser.
Thank everybody that's been out, who stayed with us to stay for, to come back in after closed session. like to wish everybody in the county, all of my fellow board members, a Merry Christmas. It is just surprising that 2 years into this board is about over. Time just seems to be swiftly moving. And 3 years ago this month, my daughter was diagnosed at 37 years old with breast cancer. And we are ending this year with her blood work results saying that she has no cancer cells, which we look at that as being cancer-free, and we are so, so thankful
Thank God.
to have faced this at 37, and the girl can have surgery, and 4 or 5 days she's back to work. She has been a fighter. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody that can do what she done. I've seen her come home from chemo treatments and change clothes and go to a Little League game. She has just done amazing, and I'd just like to say that I'm glad that we are facing this holiday season and a new year, that we don't have to face this. And I'm hoping all of her surgeries is over, that she can put a lot of this behind her. I'm sure it's still in her mind. It would have to be, but I'm glad for the work that Larry has done, all the other employees, all of the girls in the office. Larry has just took this board to a place that it's unbelievable how he has moved us forward and kept up with stuff and kept us on track and try to keep everybody else on track. But I'm glad. Thank Will for having served us for another year for our attorney.
Me? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where to start. First of all, thank everybody for remembering us in prayer. My husband's been real sick for 18 days, still on a walker, and I appreciate everyone's concern, and also wish everyone a Merry Christmas. We just celebrated Thanksgiving Sunday, so we're 18 days behind, but we're moving forward to Christmas. And I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and thank you all for the birthday cake. And I thank the Lord for allowing me to live 80 years. I've lost a lot of classmates, but He's gave me strength and health to do this, and I thank Him for it. This makes me 18 years. This meeting makes me serving the county 18 years.
Amazing.
Ms. Love?
Well, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and don't forget what it says in God's Word, that He shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace.
Yeah.
And I say that every day of my life. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I don't think necessarily Jesus was born on December the 25th. We should celebrate it every day. I want to congratulate the academic team at Ridgeview. I think the 23rd, the band is having a concert. Congratulate the football team for how far they went. And I just want to praise God for this day and for life. And I wish every one of you all here in this room and out in radio land or streaming land a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I guess it's down to me. I also want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. I hope everybody's family's healthy, happy, and enjoy the holiday. I also want to thank the board. This is me getting elected to this board was a lifetime dream of mine, and it came true. But I never dreamed that I would be chairman of the board for a year, and it's been the greatest honor of my life, and I appreciate everybody for putting their trust in me and helping me along with the process. I had a lot to learn. This county is deeply, deeply rooted in my heart. I've been here all my life, 58 years, and had some tough times. I've had some good times. I used to work in the coal business, and I always keep my friends a coal sticker close to me. And I'm a friend of coal because he was a friend to me. That's why I started out right out of high school in 28.5-inch coal, laying on my side working. And then I drove a coal truck for several years, and then got into law enforcement. And I always wanted to be on this board to try to help the county, as I think all my board members that I serve with also have the same objectives that I have. And I know we have to be tight and be careful with the money, but we're protecting the taxpayers' money, not our money. It's your money. So that's what we was elected to do, and that's what we've tried to do. And Mr. Barton, we couldn't ask for any better leader than you to lead this county. I mean, it's been amazing just having you and the work that you've done. I just want to thank everybody for everything, and hope everybody has a great holiday. Thank you all. Motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion to
I
adjourn.
second it.
And a second.
Thank y'all for the birthday cake today.
And happy
Well, and
birthday,
happy
Shelby.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Larry, why don't you take this for the girls downstairs?
We'll take some for Bruce. So if we
Uh,
just-
we got stuff left over from Sunday.